Phil, and thanks for the reminder of those 8 long years that we spent sharing an office together. And apologies, firstly, for not being here with you earlier today. I had a long-standing appointment in Cambridge talking to a group of people who are researching social networks who actually know what's going on the services we've built rather than the guys who build them, where we tend to just be so fast in terms of running forward that we spend actually less time looking at what we've created. And the research this morning were a really interesting group. What was especially interesting was watching 5 Cambridge computer scientists try to fix a projector that wouldn't work with the laptop they'd supplied. Anyway, it's fun. So what I wanted to do today, and so I couldn't make it earlier, but Phil's been filling me in on the e-learning foundation and the work you've been doing, so I hope I have some sense and what I'm going to say has some relevance with the presentations that you've heard earlier today. I really want to talk about 3 themes. One was where social networking is today, just to try and give you a sketch of what's happened with services like Facebook and the kind of reach that we have into the UK population. The second is to talk about where we're going, which I think has got some really powerful resonance for anybody who's trying to deploy information technology systems to support, in fact, any kind of public service activity, but in this context, particularly education. And then the third section really to talk about the challenges and opportunities. And what I don't want to do is deduct the challenges, because I recognize that social networks, and particularly Facebook, present some quite significant challenges to anybody who's trying to deliver a service and has a user group, a user population that is spending their time in ways that are perhaps not always acceptable or not always the recommended and approved way of doing things. So in terms of where we are today, the headline figure is that we have globally 500 million users, and the people say that makes us the 4th biggest country in the world. It's not quite a country, but there is some sense that those 500 million people, I think, uniquely in human history now have the means to connect with each other. I don't think we've ever had in human history the ability for that level of instantaneous communication globally. Most countries permit Facebook access. There are a few countries who choose to block the service at governmental level, but the vast majority of countries do allow it, and we do have people across the globe. In the United Kingdom, there's 26 million users, and for Facebook's point of view, an active user is somebody who logged on in the last 30 days. That's not somebody who ever registered, that's somebody who's actually been accessing their account. And obviously people will say that there are duplicates and there are things within that, but that 26 million are the number of accounts that people have accessed within the last 30 days. Of that group of people, perhaps one of the most remarkable statistics is that over 50% of them log on every single day. And there was an assumption when the service was built that you would get this high usage figure, but somehow it would tail off. And what's been very interesting is if anything, that daily usage figure has increased. So we get a little bit of a bell curve where there are a group of people who log on just once in those 30 days, very occasional users. And then there's a sort of middle bit of people who log on once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. And then there's a huge curve again for people who log on every day. And that block of people who log on every day has been increasing. Now, clearly, as a business, we've been trying to make that number increase, but we're having some success in that, in the UK, I think typically the figure's somewhere closer to 55%. So what that means in terms of reach is that we're getting to 13 to 14 million people a day, or 13 to 14 million people are visiting this one property on the internet every day. And they're typically spending around half an hour on that site. So to put it into perspective, if you look at the large national newspapers, they might be reaching 3-4 million people. You look at something like X Factor Final, and that's when you're getting into comparable numbers, 12, 13, 14 million. So it's a kind of X Factor Final audience every single day running through that particular site on the internet. And clearly the content they're looking at is very varied, but they're gathering in that one place.